John. He's going to make America great.
Comment on that one?
Tell me when.
No, I would make it.
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call the meeting of February 9th, 2016 to order. Vin, can I have the roll call, please?
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Here.
Council members Achara.
Here.
Long.
Here.
Shephaka.
Here.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Here, everybody please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silent prayer thereafter. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Yeah, I just was.
2 pages. The notice requirements for the open public meeting have been satisfied. A copy of the annual notice was sent to the Asbury Park Press and the Coaster, posted in Town Hall, filed in the office of the municipal clerk on December 29th, 2015. There are 2 fire exits, one to my right that take you out to the front of the building, and one to my left take you out to the rear parking lot. Please turn off your cell phones. If you need to make a phone call, kindly go out into the hallway. Tonight there are no ceremonies. I'm going to start with council reports. Bill, do you have anything?
Nothing this evening, Mayor.
Donna?
We're working on Memorial Day parade. We're lining up the bands and the other organizations to march in it, and we're also finalizing all the plans and getting the invitations out to St. Patrick's Day, which is March 11th
Good, thank
at the Renaissance.
you. Great. Rich?
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Rob?
I'm going to join the club. Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Okay. Andrew?
Just wanted to mention that the renovations at the Oakhurst Park meeting room are underway. The interior renovations was over there yesterday. It's coming along well, and it should be finished by about the middle part of April. That's all.
Marty?
Nothing today.
Okay. Before we get started, I just want to thank our sponsor of the year, who graciously just gave us our donation, holding up for Tommy there on the camera, Shrewsbury Volkswagen. They're our $10,000 sponsor of the year through Ocean Township. So what that is, they're going to be on our boards or electronic boards, etc. You know, the advertising we're going to give them, but their donation, their generosity, that goes to all the community events that we have each year. So starting off with the very first one is the St. Patty's Day, which helps fund the Memorial Day Parade. And there we segue into our 4th of July celebration. And then we have a few more coming up thereafter. We have our Fall Fest as well. And then we have also our Christmas menorah lighting and Veterans Day as well and all that. So we want to thank them. Thank you guys for that. It's very generous. And it just helps bring the community back closer together is really what this does, these events. And I think they're wonderful. We're bringing back the parade after several year layoff. And this is a great kickoff, and this helps us out a whole lot. So we want to thank you again for that and thank your whole organization. I think it's wonderful. That's a local boy doing good for his community. We appreciate it. Okay, before we get any further, anybody have anything? Okay. So, the purpose of this public portion is to solely ask questions, understand resolutions, and vouchers that appear on the agenda, not an occasion for a public hearing on an ordinance. All questions not related to an item on this agenda should be asked during the public comments portion at the conclusion of the meeting. Anybody have anything on the resolutions? Come on up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Come on up, Mr. Geiger.
Don Geiger, 1108 Grassmere Avenue. Start with resolution 16040. I read the resolution too. Does it cost us anything to do this, or we just say, hey, we want to be part of this process?
There's no cost to join.
That's good. On 16041B, they need 250 kilowatt generators because
One's going to go at the West Park Rec Center, which is one of our emergency shelters, and
Okay.
the other one's going to go at the Ocean Township High School.
Okay.
Now, they're just to add, they're paid for by a grant.
okay, well, that works too. And moving down to 16045A, because I hate to assume, but I'm guessing instead of assuming, because there's a difference, that since we're sharing where I guess apparently we're paying initially for the uniforms. The Board of Ed will reimburse us for their portion?
They pay their portion directly and we pay our portion directly.
Okay, well, either way, they're paying their share.
Yes.
Okay. Now, can I move right along to the bills list, or?
No.
Well, we didn't do vouchers yet.
Well,
Okay, you can.
just for that, I'll find more.
Go ahead.
No, actually, I don't have a lot, but I want to ask, on page 1, what exactly is ANJR?
It's the American or the Association of New Jersey Recycling Coordinators.
Okay. And that's their membership dues or something?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I don't know, Mr. Mayor. Computer desk? I mean, I could have given you some nice, hardly used crates to, no, anyway. Let me move on.
It was saving my back. I was bent over like.
On the Fine Credit Incorp. Terminal installations, I take it, A, that's so people can use credit cards?
That's for the Own Ocean terminals, the Own Ocean Rewards
Oh, okay.
Program terminals.
Okay. So we can use our cards at various places.
It's for we agreed as part of that, we were going to pay for the first 20 terminals.
Okay.
So
and
this
then
is just finishing up that commitment.
Okay, and after that, the merchant would pay
Yes.
for it? Okay. And one more on page 1. What is membership dues, NJGFOA?
Government finance officers.
Uh-huh.
It's for the CFO.
Okay. And page 2. Now, I'm gonna guess on this one. Monmouth and Ocean TCTA, tax collector and whatever. And that's again, well, membership dues is pretty
Yes.
obvious. On signs and safety devices, that seems to be like a lot of signs. That's township wide for $10,160.75.
Yes.
490 signs or
That's
something.
a lot of signs.
Yep.
That's to replace signs that are just so worn you can barely
Yeah,
read
and try to
them.
get them all to match. You know, most you see green lettering, green signs with white lettering.
Right.
We're trying to get all of them to that.
Okay. And right underneath it, Skyworks equipment rental. The boom, lift, and lights. Was that just a rental, and what for?
Just a rental to change out some of the parking lot lights.
Ah, that makes sense. Okay. And would you believe that's all, folks.
We would. Thank you. Anybody else on the resolutions and the vouchers, please come up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record.
Paul Marowitz, 117 Cedar Village Boulevard. The retainer for Marcy Hamilton is for,
That's for litigation.
For the,
We'll let, go ahead.
yeah, it's a retainer for the Shiva litigation. She is a pretty renowned expert on RLUIPA.
are we getting any reimbursement from the insurance company?
Not for
There's a
her.
separate lawyer that is hired by the insurance company who is also, we have 2 lawyers on the case.
Okay. Do we have any estimate of the potential cost at the moment?
I believe a lot. No, there's no estimate. There's no estimate as to the potential cost.
Mr. Harpus, that's what they said about your bill.
And still do.
No, they don't. I come cheap.
And what's the total cost estimated of the realty appraisal bill for the reval?
It's $560,000 is the
560.
contract.
Okay. A question on the resolution 16045B. From reading the resolution, it's my understanding that we received 2 bids.
Right.
One bid which was disqualified.
Twice.
One's for the lifeguard bid award and the other one for the lifeguard award letter.
Right.
Twice. And on both occasions, they blew it on the same thing.
Yeah.
The differential between the 2 bids were approximately $15,000. Are we required by purchasing law to accept the one bid, or did we have the discretion to rebid the contracts to obtain either a lower rate from USA Management or to force the rate lower on a rebid?
We did rebid. This is the second time this has been bid.
This was the second.
And they blew it 2 times?
Yes.
Same thing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else on resolutions, vouchers? Please go up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Okay, here, no one. Tonight we have resolution 16039 through 16047. Someone please offer.
I offer.
Second?
I'll second.
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Voting on the minutes of January 30th, yes on everything else.
Okay. Council members Achara,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Shephaka,
Yes.
and Mayor Siciliano.
Yes. Also for individual action, we have vouchers in amount of $10,422,627.50. Someone please offer.
So moved. So offered.
Second?
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Shephaka,
Yes.
and Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, and tonight we have resolution 16043. Approve the continuance on an assessment installment payment plan for the property owner of block 34, lot 58, who has become delinquent for their assessment confirmed on November 14th, 2013. Someone please offer.
So offered.
Second?
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Shephaka,
Yes.
and Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, 16044. Authorize the cancellation of the contract award to Frank Lurch Demolition Company, Inc. for the demolition and removal of residential structures at Poplar Village. Someone please offer.
Offered.
Second?
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Shephaka,
Yes.
and Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, that'll be rebid, just folks out there, in case you don't know, this was a bid a while back and the bid had expired and he couldn't hold that price, so we're gonna rebid that project. That's for the demolition over at Poplar Village, which we closed on that property finally, so. Authorize 6045, authorize a contract from sealed bids received for the following: A, uniforms for Public Works and Board of Education, and B, lifeguard services at the community pool and tennis facility. Someone please offer.
Offered.
Second?
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Shephaka,
Yes.
and Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, 16046. Authorize a professional service contract for groundwater remediation with Groundwater and Environmental Services, Inc. at a cost not to exceed $14,760.75. Someone please offer.
Offered.
Second?
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Shephaka,
Yes.
and Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, and tonight for ordinances, we have ordinance 2256 for adoption. Vin, would you read the title, please?
An ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 7 of the Revised General Ordinances, Chapter 12 of the Revised General Ordinances, temporarily prohibiting parking on a portion of Beechwood Avenue.
Great, someone please open the public hearing on ordinance 2256.
Open a public hearing on ordinance 2256.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Shephaka,
Yes.
and Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, anyone wishing to be heard on ordinance 2256, please step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Seeing or hearing no one, someone please close the public hearing on ordinance 2256.
Move to close the hearing on ordinance 2256.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Shephaka,
Yes.
and Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, action please on ordinance 2256.
Move to adopt the ordinance number 2256
Second.
and published according to law.
And second.
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Shephaka,
Yes.
and Mayor Siciliano.
Also for adoption, yes. Also for adoption of ordinance number 2257. Vin, would you read the title, please?
A refunding bond ordinance authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $9 million general obligation refunding bonds in order to provide for the funding of certain bonds heretofore issued by the Township of Ocean and appropriating the proceeds of such bonds.
Great, someone please open the public hearing on ordinance number 2257.
Make a motion that we open the public hearing on ordinance number 2257.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Shephaka,
Yes.
and Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, anybody wishing to be heard on ordinance number 2257, please step up to the microphone and state your name and address for the record. Seeing or hearing no one, someone please close the public hearing on ordinance number 2257.
I make the motion that we close the public hearing on ordinance number 2257.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Shephaka,
Yes.
and Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, action please on ordinance number 2257.
I move that we adopt ordinance number 2257 and as published by law.
Second?
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes. Also for adoption, we have ordinance number 2258. Vin, would you read the title, please?
An ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 5 of the revised general ordinances entitled Peddlers, Solicitors, Canvassers, Vending Machines, and Mercantile Licenses, as well as creating a no-knock policy.
Great. Someone please open the public hearing on ordinance number 2258.
Make a motion that we open the public hearing on ordinance number 2258.
Second?
Second?
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes. Anybody wishing to be heard on ordinance number 2258, please step up to the microphone and state your name and address for the record. Okay. Seeing or hearing no one, someone please close the public hearing on ordinance number 2258.
I make a motion that we close the public hearing on ordinance number 2258.
Second?
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes. Action please on ordinance number 2258.
I make a motion that we adopt ordinance number 2258 and as published by law.
Second?
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes. Also tonight, for adoption, we have ordinance number 2259. Vin, would you read the title, please?
An ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 14 of the revised general ordinances of the Township of Ocean entitled Swimming Pools.
Someone please open the public hearing on ordinance number 2259.
I make a motion that we open the public hearing for ordinance number 2259.
Second?
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes. Anybody wishing to be heard on ordinance number 2259, please step up to the microphone and state your name and address for the record. Okay. Seeing or hearing no one, someone please close the public hearing on ordinance number 2259.
I make a motion that we close the public hearing on ordinance number 2259.
Second?
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes. And action please on ordinance number 2259.
I make a motion that we adopt ordinance number 2259 and published according to law.
Second?
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes. And finally tonight for adoption, we have ordinance number 2260. Vin, would you read the title?
Sure. An ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 16 of the revised general ordinances entitled Parks and Playgrounds.
Someone please open the public hearing on ordinance number 2260.
I make a motion that we open the public hearing on ordinance number 2260.
Second?
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes. Anybody wishing to be heard on ordinance number 2260, please step up to the microphone and state your name and address for the record. Seeing or hearing no one, someone please close the public hearing on ordinance 2260.
I make a motion that we close the public hearing on ordinance number 2260.
Second?
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes. Action please on ordinance number 2260.
Make a motion that we adopt ordinance number 2260 and published according to law.
Second?
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes. And that's it. Anybody have anything? Please come up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Be glad to hear your comments. Well, there's one coming behind you, Mr. Geiger, so you're second. Okay. Paul bounced right out of that seat so quick. It wasn't even
He's got to get home.
funny. He might.
Paul Merowitz, 117 Cedar Village Boulevard. Thank the council for passing Resolution 2258. I think it's something that we should do. But I was reading the Asbury Park Press today, and I was reading an article that said Tom's River to introduce cease and desist ordinance,
Right.
where they're literally going to ban certain types of soliciting in parts of Tom's River. And it got me to thinking, how do I as a resident benefit from anybody walking up to my door, knocking on it, and soliciting me for anything? Okay? Clearly, certain types of soliciting are protected by law. Okay? But why should I have any commercial enterprise have the right to come up to my door, knock, and interfere with my comfort? And the question is, I don't know if the Toms River ordinance is going to pass constitutionally,
Right, for First Amendment.
but If it does, it really raises the question as to why do we really want to encourage any form of soliciting within the township? Food for thought. The other thing I'd like to get some clarification on is we had a public budget meeting scheduled for February 9th. At the last minute, that meeting was changed to the week before. An eagle-eyed resident by the name of Hudson spotted the change in the township council calendar. By law, the township was supposed to publish a change in a public meeting in 2 newspapers. It got published, I believe, in the Asbury Park Press, and I'm guessing the second publication was the Coaster. The Asbury Park Press, according to the press, is released at 6 a.m. in the morning. I don't know how many people get a hard copy at 6 a.m. in the morning. Okay? The meeting for Saturday was scheduled at 9 a.m. The amount of notice that the public got for this change in the meeting schedule was really tight. I'd really like to understand what prompted the change so quickly.
Well, it was on for the meeting of the 28th. It was on the agenda that night that we were having that meeting for, what was it, the 30th?
It was originally the 30th, and it was originally the 6th.
Sixth.
It was the 6th, we moved it to the 30th.
You moved out one Saturday.
But there was a resolution at the January 28th meeting stating that.
It was just scheduling, Paul, trying to get all the members together and as early as possible before the next meeting came around. So
Okay.
I think that's really what it really was, a scheduling situation.
Okay. I'd like to suggest something, okay? Since I know the council is very much interested in transparency. We have available to us numerous communication vehicles to advise the public of changes in meetings and schedules. Yes, it was posted to the township calendar, but nobody really bothers to think to check the township calendar 2 days before a meeting to make sure it's still being scheduled. Mayor, you and I once discussed sending out those types of meeting notices using the email notification list for the township. I strongly would suggest that we still do that.
Yeah.
Because if we did, we could have sent out an email notification to those few people who were interested in attending to know about the change in the schedule. I would also like to suggest that we pay a fair amount of money each year to the advertisers for our public notices. Yet, when you look at the Asbury Park Press website and you look at the Coaster website, there is nothing on their websites to indicate public notices or legal notices. And there isn't any reason why this township and other townships who heavily advertise in those papers shouldn't request those publications to put that information on their websites so residents would know about it. And that's a fair request, I believe. And I believe the collective efforts of all the municipalities that advertise in those papers could pull that off.
Could achieve that.
Okay, so I think that's a good idea. The other question that I had was, I had asked, since I missed the budget meeting, I was in Mexico, I really couldn't come back for the meeting.
We missed you.
I'm sure you
joined by
did.
conference call.
We FaceTimed you.
I didn't know that you could do a conference call.
No.
But anyway, what I asked a question to Ocean TV was it recorded?
No.
And it wasn't recorded. And I didn't understand why it wouldn't be recorded if it was a public meeting.
Well, all of our workshops are public meetings. I think I explained that to
They're
you
all
in the email.
public meetings.
When we meet at 5 o'clock upstairs, we have members of the public there, but those meetings have not been recorded.
I mean, until recently, no meetings were recorded. So
Right.
we've recorded down here, we have a setup down here, but when we have workshop meetings, they're not recorded.
You give an inch, you want a foot. You know that.
That's how it is.
You know.
Be thankful for what you have.
be thankful for more.
And I just.
So that was, no, so, clarification, that was a workshop, not necessarily a meeting per se.
Well, they're all public meetings. It was classified as a budget workshop meeting. But,
The distinction between a workshop and what the meeting we're having now, we very rarely, if ever, take action.
Official action. right.
Take official action at a workshop meeting. And I say that because I can only think of maybe one or two times in the almost 9 years that I've been here where we've taken official action at a workshop meeting. That's really the distinction. It's still a public meeting.
It's a public meeting, but there are no official minutes taken of the meeting.
There are minutes.
Always minutes.
There are minutes.
there's no action.
Right on your agenda.
They're on
Look on the agenda. It's
There's no-
workshop on public meetings.
On the
Oh,
second page, top.
any
So they're approved.
Yeah, meeting of the
minutes.
governing body, there's minutes.
I'll get a
They're
copy of
available.
them later.
Right, you can get a copy of them.
Once they're approved, they'll be on the website.
Can we put the fire district elections on Ocean TV?
Could we put them on?
It might help if we could get more than 100 people to come out and vote.
Turn to the camera and mention it.
I don't remember the date.
It's the 20.
Yeah, that's exactly my, it starts with a 2. You're right.
You don't remember the date.
February.
Very good, Paul. Thank you. Anybody else, please step up to the microphone, state your name and address, Mr. Geiger.
Let's see, let me get my wallet out and check what my... No, I'm still Mr. Geiger, and I still live at 1108 Grassmere. Let's see. Have we come to any cost yet for the blizzard?
The blizzard cost.
No, we'll probably have it by the end of this. We're preparing our paperwork to FEMA, so we should have that number by the end of the week.
Okay.
Are you interested in helping out?
No.
Any more than you already are by paying your taxes?
No.
Okay.
The storm we had on Friday, how bad did it hit us? Because we had to go out to Pennsylvania. And when we're driving out, I said, oh, man, this is getting...
We got
maybe
4 more
serious, but
inches than we thought.
Okay. But it wasn't like catastrophe.
No, it was 5 inches. We
Okay.
thought we were getting 1.
Since we're talking about that, I'll jump to my next one because it's now becoming my next favorite topic after the post office. Because I got it from the police department. They gave updates and alerts. One of them was on the ordinance for clearing sidewalks. Now, 2-part question is, I know you told me the rationale. I mentioned a lot of the sidewalks on Logan and Monmouth. Part of me says, well, why do we have an ordinance? The way they presented it on the email, it seemed pretty cut and dried. At the storm ends, you've got 12 hours of daylight, and of course, being in the winter season, you have less daylight. Yet,
I think I think we have to have a little leeway in amending that during like state of emergencies or major blizzards like that to give folks a chance to really catch their breath. Again, we didn't have everyone totally cleared out. How can we expect them to get their sidewalks cleared?
right,
ready
and
for
I
the storm?
understand that.
So, and 12 inches or less, yes, that's the ordinance. That's going to apply. I think 2 feet or more, well, we just got to be a little flexible.
Okay, and I don't mind flexibility. I think maybe you should think about tweaking a little bit so it's a little clearer, or maybe I didn't read it thoroughly. I just thought,
No, I'm sure what you read was probably the way it was written, but it's just, again, we kind of adopted that posture last week. Andrew and I, listen, we're not going to really enforce this right now until we have everybody cleared out. And we still had a couple of roads that we hadn't gotten to.
yeah.
All
that's
the
it.
way. We've gotten everybody, but we hadn't gotten to them thoroughly.
Okay. It was bugging me enough to bring
Yeah.
it back up. On the no knock, is there going to be information on the website when you can go and register for
Yeah,
that?
once we, again, it just got adopted tonight, so once we're through our codification and everything, then give Vin time to set it up and get the application set up and get our decals in, and then he'll have a lot of info on it.
Okay. Good
So,
enough.
a couple of weeks, we'll have something else out there about it.
Wow,
Takes
he's
time.
much better than a couple of weeks.
Wow.
Not really.
Okay.
Takes a little time.
I know you. When we'll address this to the honorable, the illustrious, the ever talented.
Somebody come in?
I've got well, you notice I have boots on.
Okay, you're stepping deep in it. Go ahead.
Martin J. Arbus, Esquire. the litigation for the yeshiva that, down on Logan, when do you think that will even start out?
It started.
It has started.
So that has started. There's complaints. There's motions. The thing has started.
Okay. Well, I know they had a complaint, but and stuff has been the mill is being ground as we speak. Yes. No.
Oh yeah, it's
Okay.
going to move along.
And this is just a comment. Back to that budget workshop. I mean, I was here for the meeting. I noticed a change. I wrote it down on my little piece of paper and I put it in my calendar. Now, I was really disappointed in the attendance. Now, granted, it was a change. It was last minute, sort of, kind of. But I'm sure it was out there somewhere. And, I think if more people were there, they would have seen, first of all, the job that our CFO does. And for those who gripe, he's, multitasking and getting pensions from multiple and this and that. What do I care?
Right.
I don't. As long as he does the job.
As long as
for
he's
our-
here, that's what we care.
As
It's our interest
for
that
us,
he's here.
What do I care what else he does? If he can do if they're happy with the job he's doing for them, good for them. If they're not happy, then they should terminate his contract. It seems that simple to me, but maybe not. I don't know. I'm just speaking from my heart.
No, well, thank you. We appreciate that.
And I think if more people could have made it, they would have seen the effort you folks are making to keep the impact of all the different factors that could affect the individual taxpayer either non-existent, in other words, you won't see a raise in your property taxes, or it will be so minimal it won't kill you. So I just want to voice that sentiment.
No, thank you. We appreciate that.
Just one comment. There was the same number of people at this year's workshop meeting as there was last year.
I was going to say that too.
Well,
Just one.
and then shame on them.
I'm sorry?
No, right. Shame on them. But thank you, Don. And to follow up on that, like we said, Mr. Gallagher, I come in some Saturdays and I catch two people in their office, Andrew and Steve Gallagher. And Steve's here all the time. I can never come in here and he's not here, whether it's nighttime or on a Saturday, even a Sunday. So he's here for us full time, and that's all we really care about. He does a terrific job. And if he wants to give up Christmas Day and night to have another job, that's his business. That's the sacrifices that this guy makes to have other positions. But with us, it's here. And that's what we care about, and he does a terrific job. So, anybody else have anything? Come on up to the microphone and state your name and address. Mr. Hudson. You threw that down in disdain, or just because it was a close-by chair? Okay, good.
Thank you, Fenn Hudson, Morris Drive. Just one thing, really. I was at the planning board meeting on the 1st, and I'm sure you all know that the Cindy Lane Affordable Housing meeting was aborted shortly after it began, when the attorney for a neighboring business objected to the plans not having been on file 10 days in advance of the meeting as required. The planning board attorney, Mr. Brown, while not ruling on the whether the meeting could continue or not, suggested that the parties might resolve the matter by informally meeting for a few minutes and then continuing with the proceeding. He also asked whether there were any other objectors to the fact that the plans had not been filed 10 days in advance and that they hadn't seen them. Two other objectors arose, and and most of the people at the meeting apparently had either questions or some objections to the plans that had been filed at the last minute. After attending planning board meetings for a number of years, I really kind of wondered why this matter had not come up much before. I think that the board the public and also the members of the planning board are somewhat disadvantaged by not having the plans on file when they're supposed to be on file. I realize that there's that most of the people that appear on behalf of the applicants, the technical experts, are all familiar with planning board procedures and what they're going to get from the planning board. But I think it's a disadvantage to both the planning board members and the public not to have the information on file as required. I'd like to make a suggestion that might solve some of this.
Sure.
And that is, most of the people that come before the planning board really want to be in Ocean Township. And if they knew that the plans had to be filed 10 days in advance, and that was an ironclad rule, they would probably have them filed 10 days in advance. So you might solve the problem by closing the planning board agenda 10 days in advance, and anybody not on that agenda is not going to be heard at the next meeting.
Great. I'll tell you, that was a case of procedure, though. However, the plans were filed indeed 10 days in advance. What happened was the engineer and maybe their planner, whomever, two folks from either side got together to maybe tweak it a little better and then brought in that plan. And essentially, they probably could have just presented the plan that was on file 10 days in advance and then made the amendments. So I think to have due process for the folks who, like you said, hadn't had a chance to review the new amended plan, that's why they rescheduled the meeting, which is the right thing to do.
I
But
think that actually happens, all the time.
Yeah.
Where there are plans, the
They
plans
get
are on file,
tweaked.
which their plans were.
Yeah.
You go to a meeting, and then our engineer or an opposing engineer says, why don't you move this to there, and what if you change
Will
that?
work better.
And then new plans are created. It just so happened there was a meeting just a few days of professionals, just a few days before the official meeting, so they had the plans ready. And there may have been some issues with the original plans, which is why they put the matter off. But the original plans were on file.
Were indeed
well
filed.
more than 10 days.
And I think you're.
Well, yeah, but the objector said that the plans were changed more than.
Well, there was a question as to how extensive the changes, and from my perspective, if the plans aren't on file 10 days before and the changes are substantial, really in theory, you could still have a hearing, but you just don't vote until the next meeting so that everybody can come back and have a chance to review the plans and present their position the next time if there's something that's changed. But there were some other issues that I'm not really that familiar with that created an additional problem, and that's why it got put off.
Okay, well, it was postponed.
It was, yes.
Yeah.
Keep me honest though. His
No.
request, his request is currently what is in place. If the plans aren't in place within 10 days, we don't have the meeting or that meeting.
Well, in order to be scheduled,
Not
you have to have plans on file 10 days before, or else you won't be scheduled for a hearing.
Which takes
But if-
place now.
But if there is, but then changes may come to the plans.
Right.
And, I was the planning board attorney for 14 years, I'm the planning board attorney in Long Branch. You sit there and sometimes they're not on file because there have been changes, and you say, well, mark these for identification only. They're not going to be allowed into evidence because you haven't had them on file for 10 days. And then you carry the meeting. There was some other issue here involving the earlier plans. I think that's what created the problem in terms of continuing.
Well, okay, but the thing was that they weren't, the people that were there at the meeting were not satisfied that the plans had been on file for the,
Correct. That was
the amended plans, correct.
The
So
amended
they're going to have a
plans.
new hearing.
on file.
Right.
Okay,
thank
great, thank you. Anybody else? No? All right, well, before we adjourn, I just want to thank you all for coming and remind you that we air twice a day, 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. and Channel 22 if you have files, 77 if you have Cablevision. And also we are now airing our planning board and zoning board meetings. Just look at the Ocean TV 77 for the schedule. All right, so we make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
Deputy Mayor Garofalo.
Yes.
Council members Achara.
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, thank you for coming. Meeting adjourned.
Hey, Paul?
Did you have something?